Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again to give you another chapter review of One Piece, chapter 1056, Cross Guild. Before we start, it's time to finally, after a very, very long time, continue the Gemma 66 emotionless excursion, in which we're finally continuing that from the last chapter, last cover spread after so many double spreads of Yonko and game and movie news and all that stuff. We're finally coming back to the regular story, in which we're now in the 15th chapter or volume here. Katakuri and Oven arrive, in which, as it suggests, Oven and Katakuri arrive and attack the Germa 66 siblings and all that stuff. As we see Katakuri with like his Mochi coming out from the donut holes, and Oven with his flame fists about to attack them as the Germa kids are all preparing to defend themselves. So it's like after probably hundreds of chapters, about over 100 chapters or so, Katakuri has finally returned, though granted as a double page spread in which all the Katakuri fans will be happy. Though I have to admit, it seems to me of note that Katakuri has his scarf thing around him again, which I figured he was going to ditch after being defeated by Luffy, but seems like he's keeping it now for at least the time being. Or at least when it comes to the rest of the family, though. I'm surprised that Flampe hasn't exposed it all yet, but either way, let's see. It looks like Germa's kind of screwed, though granted, we have to wait and see how they're going to get out of this. Let's see. They could either be defeated and rescued later, or something like Caesar ends up doing something that ends up helping them escape. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see that. But anyway, into the actual chapter. It cuts the castle for Wetty, the capital of Wano, in which the narration says that the party has long since been over for the flower capital, as the Scabbards are telling Raizo and Shinobu to hang on and not die and all that stuff. As it's revealed that they've both been drawn to be completely skinny after, Admiral Amamaki's wood abilities has made them completely thin. We've got someone commenting that as much as they had to admit it, the Admiral had a point about Kaino, while the Tyrant at the same time kept Wano's enemies from entering the country and all that stuff. Let's see, though, before that debate on topic continues, Kimimon apologized for being away from the capital, as it reveals that he was actually away with his, Otsuru back at Kiru and all that stuff from a couple of chapters back ago, rather than actually celebrating in the capital. Now, Cat Viper tries to assure him that it was fine, that no real damage has been done, and all that stuff, and asks. I should probably mention that it's the two Minx doctors and nurses that are looking after the two. But Cat Viper ends up asking how his wife is and all that stuff. As we learn that the town got burnt to the ground, and she's got a burn on her face now, but she's alive and well. As one of the elderly residents there ends up asking her about Kinimon coming back, and how he's back at the capital now, and how, since she's also from the capital, she should probably go in that, and which she plans to, and she always wants to be in his side, with Kimo smiling and blushing about how after 20 years she's still just as beautiful and all that stuff. And he's probably lucky to have and all that stuff, though Dogstorm is telling him that enough of that sappy love, if you will, or that cheesy love, depending on which translation. Cat Viper laughs it off, while Kikaku just is as glad for Kimimon. Raizo's saying, "Oh, I wish I had a girlfriend or something," as he's laying dying, and everyone telling him to focus on his recovery. Meanwhile, some time has passed, and the next page, let's see, cuts to Carrot, where Dogstorm and Cat Viper are asking here, have summoned, let's see, has summoned her as they plan to announce her being the new king of the Dukedom Kingdom, or, king of the Minx, if you will. In which she's the first thing, sure, why? And then it goes like, wait, what? And she's shocked and doesn't believe that she can do that, but let's see. But given the fact that the two previous that Dogstorm and Cat Viper have decided to stay in Wano to serve Lord Monosuke as samurai, the Kusiki clan, and given her experience with traveling with Luffy and all that stuff, she's gained enough experience that they believe that she is capable of leading the Minx into the new era. Lookout tries to object, saying there are stronger people than her, including like the two in which the three musketeers, let's see, end up saying, well, of course that's true, but it'll be their job to protect her and the country. And Wanda, let's see, will help her advise her and all that stuff. Let's see, how respects like the two decisions of the kings and all that stuff. But as everyone says, that she is the one that has inherited Pedro's will, which she phrases at this, seemingly starting to accept it. Let's see. And as they sum it up, they're leaving Zou to those youngins as we cut to Shinisu walking somewhere, though I will admit we have no idea where. I am curious to see how they get back. Anyway, the scene next cuts to another scene in the capital, in the castle, in which, let's see, Sayuki ends up revealing himself to Momonosuke and Hiro that he is their grandfather. And to his surprise, they hug and embrace him and all that stuff, even though he doesn't feel like he is worthy of that. Though he does thank his grandchildren, telling Momonosuke he looks exactly like Oden. But Momonosuke and Hiro are just glad that he's alive, just after losing their parents and all that stuff, and they still have some family left around and all that stuff. As you can see how they're crying. Let's see. With then Sakayuki end up telling the Nine Scabs that they must assume that he was alive, in which they all seem to confirm that it was suspicious that a Tengen mask someone was wearing that mask when there was no festival, and that he was no ordinary blacksmith. With him just apologizing for keeping the secret, though Kikuku says that let's see. They thought it was rude to reveal it, but Kimura was remaining looking stoic and calm, is actually secretly thinking what? He was, let's see, Sayaki this entire time and had no idea. Let's see, even though he thinks his heart's going to leap out of his chest, it is glad that, he is alive. Let's see, so, yeah, Kimura. Let's continue that joke about pretending to know stuff we doesn't actually know. But yeah. But anyway, let's see, Momonosuke's grandfather tells him how he has things to teach, but let's see, that's always good for now and all that stuff. And after that, let's see, let him assume his seclusion from the public and all that stuff, as this era is now theirs to build and all that stuff. Let's see, Kimura, let's see. It's just saying that it says out loud, it's just great to know they're still alive, even though he's still shocked himself. Anyway, we finally cut to the Straw Hats, where Robin is telling them that Pluton is in this country and all that stuff, even though she hasn't seen it herself. Frankie's shocked that it actually exists, with Luffy remembering that Frankie burnt the blueprints and all that stuff. With Robin confirming all that stuff, and how it's one of the weapons named after a god. So, and she asks Luffy if he wants it, but Luffy says, nah, he's not interested and all that stuff. Let's see. Frankie's not surprised by that, but he is curious why Oden would want to release such a thing. Then get interrupted by Shinobu, who thinks they're talking about mature woman being a devastating weapon. With Frankie shocked who it is, and It's revealed that Shinobu, after the Admiral's attack on her, has now become back to her old skinny self and has Tama dressed up in Knoichi gear next to her and all that stuff. As she reveals what happened to her, as she reveals it's her and she's been snagged, and what happened to her from the incident against the Admiral, with Sanji going on let's see. He says how beautiful she is after being haggard, like she said earlier, going all lovey-dovey. With Tama saying how she is now Shinobu's apprentice, and the next time the Straw Hats arrive, and when she's learned ninjutsu and stuff, she requests that they'll be able to take her out to see and join their crew and all that stuff. With Nami embracing to hug her about how cute she is. With Luffy says let's say sure, no problem, as long as you can learn ninjutsu by then. Well, she's probably got quite a few Tama fans probably excited there, and she's excited herself. Meanwhile, we find out that I believe Karibo has been listening in on their conversation and realizing that, let's see, now where Pluton is, just like Poseidon, and feels like now that he's knows his weapons, he's got to let someone know about this. As we cut to days later, Momonosuke is, watching over the capital as someone is talking to him about some plans to reconstructions for all the towns and the funds they need. Seeing some kids play, as more people end up, going Shogun or Lord Shogun, and bowing to him wherever he goes. But he wants to try and, come to the Zoro to learn some sword techniques and all that stuff. And realizes that no one's around, and starts calling out everyone's names in the order of which they joined the crew and all that stuff. And even asks Yamato at the end, which gets quite a few Yamato fans excited, but yeah. As he searches everywhere and all that stuff. Going where everyone is and all that stuff, and eventually seeing his sister and asks where everyone's gone. And she's told them that they've already left, as she's playing, her instrument with Otaku, who's also got a similar, who's saying how she'll miss the Straw Hats. As they said goodbye to everyone this morning, which shocks Momonosuke as they didn't say anything to him. And then he runs into Kimino and talking about how Luffy has disappeared and how he just learned himself and all that stuff. With them being shocked about how they said their goodbyes to everyone except those two. And all that stuff, so yeah. Anyway, we cut to Toku Port and Udon, where Law tells Luffy to take a different day to leave, as an alliance is now over. They're back to being rivals and enemies again, though. Luffy says that they've already decided on the day. With kids saying, if we're all leaving on the same day, we might as well pick different directions. As they use the log poles to fix on 3 different directions, northeast, east, and southeast, and each pick one. Kid and Luffy pick, of course, the same one, the Middle East one, with Law picking northeast, with him commenting about how he's got his choice, as I do like how Beppo's looking back in the background as they're talking. No, he chose northeast because he gets to move the furthest ahead, with both Luffy and Kid being shocked by this, with him mocking them how they just picked the Middle East because it was picked the East one because it was the middle, and called them stupid children for that. Which then leads to Luffy and Kid just picking straws to determine who next, and Kid wins, and it's Luffy's like, no, I failed, I lost, I'm sorry everyone, and all that stuff. But Usopp's just complaining and saying, it's dangerous no matter where we go, and tells Luffy to just help them with the cargo. But Luffy complains to Kid and going how have I lost? I'm the Emperor of the Sea and all that stuff. But Kid's don't go rub that in my face. Though, in terms of the new emperors, the one that seems to really annoy him the most is Buggy, as we reveal the poster of him as the genius jester and all that stuff. And as we see a poster of him in the top with Crocodile and Mihawk below him and all that stuff, with a cross-guard sword and a thing, with an organization called Cross Guild and all that stuff. With Luffy being shocked by this, and also furthermore shocked by the fact that Bucky seems to have Crocodile and Mihawk as his subordinates and all that stuff, which shocks Zoro, and thinking that, and he says how he cannot possibly think Hawkeye would do such a thing. Law thinks that it makes sense that if he's got those two men like that working on him, then he deserves to be called a Yonko. But Luffy says that, yeah, comments that he's an idiot and all that stuff. I'm wondering how on earth could happen. Anyway, Kid talks about how this Cross Guild company he leads has started to put bounties on Navy lot. So now the Navy, who has done nothing but done the chasing, and now being the ones hunted themselves. So now they have to worry about being attacked by civilians. As we see some wanted posters with a few star numbers, and I think maybe a crown or something with another one. I can't pick up the names of some of the Marines here, though there might be some that we have already seen. But yeah. But they just comment, but he just further comments while they've been stuck in Wano, the world has changed quite a bit. No, they have no complaints about their respective courses. Then they say once they leave, then to fight to death like always. But anyway, Law decides to give them something, which confuses Kid. And it's revealed to be a copy of the Roe poneglyph here. And says that they have a right to it just as much as they do. And thinks like it wouldn't be fair sportsmanship, or wouldn't be fair to have a clear advantage start and all that stuff. With a killer confirming that that this is one, and surprised that Kaido did have one. And it's apparently the same one they took off of, similar to the one they took off of Big Mom's general. Though Killer says if they're gonna do this, they're gonna need to try and find. If they want to they're gonna take seriously if they want to win the all-out war for One Piece at this point. With Kid talking about how they need to find the man with the burning scar, even though that's enough to go on. Luffy confused who that is. Law remains silent, and Robin takes note of this, though Kid mocks Luffy for not knowing and says that they have the advantage. With Luffy going all mad, saying, "Come on, tell me!" Showing that Kid is not as generous as Law here. Anyway, let's then cut to the final page in which, back to the Flower Capital with Momonosuke asking if Yamato's gone as well. Yamato's shouting to Momonosuke, "Is that him?" and all that stuff. And telling them that he or she is up here. With Kimino and wondering where that's at, and it's on the roof again. And Yamato's made up, his or her mind. And he's going to go to Luffy and his crew, and he's going to live the way like Kozuki Oden, implying that he or she is going to join the Straw Hats, ending the chapter. Okay, that summary took longer than I expected, but best to get my thoughts and all that stuff down. That's because there's quite a lot to this chapter. First off, we see I like to how we see the results of the fight against the Admiral, in which two of them, at least, Raizo and Shinobu, have all gotten drained of all their body fat, if you will, and all that, or just body fluids in general, really. They're now skin and dry, and they need to be healed terribly and all that stuff. And it seems like, as a result, they really are thinking about how Kaido did keep them away. Of course, they're all glad that he's gone and all that stuff. So it's probably a wake-up call for them that they need to try and improve their strength and all that stuff. And probably help Momonosuke keep his strength up and all that stuff, since, they need to get ready for any other threats from outside the country and all that stuff that might want to, attack them and all that stuff. But anyway, it's interesting to learn that it's a few chapters ago that Kinemon was actually outside the capital rather than in there, which everyone probably assumed. Though, let's see, though, which goes to show, I guess, how Oda's quick pacing these last two chapters to tie into to try and get it over so he can promote the movie and all that stuff. That's probably made some bits confusing, but at least now we got some confirmation that he was there with her and all that stuff. But yeah, but at the very least, and why he wasn't there when fighting the admirals. But I do like the bit of the moment where we see about how we learned what happened to with Kiku, where the whole place burned and she got herself burnt a little bit. Though I still have no idea what happened to the headliner that did this. I assume that he's gotten his butt whipped or something, but yeah. Or at least the anime, I hope, will show what's happened to him. But yeah, I assume he's at least been beaten and thrown into jail like Undon, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, I do like how Okitaku wants to remain at Kimon's side and is willing to go back to the capital to do so. And Kimono's just glad that his wife is still looking amazing ever like she hasn't aged a day and all that stuff. Or it's just as beautiful and all that stuff, even though she's now 20 years older than him. I do like how we get the different reactions from some of the scabbards. Dogstorm finding it cheesy, Cat Viper laughing, and Kikugu just happy for Kimon, with Raizo saying, I need a girlfriend, all that stuff, so who knows. Now, given what happened to Shinobu, who knows, maybe he's lucky and something similar will happen to him, but we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, Carrot fans are probably going to be a bit upset, and heck, I'm probably a little disappointed myself because I thought she and Yamato would join the Straw Hats together, but it turns out, or at least it's implied, that she's not joining the Straw Hats. Instead, her character arc is becoming a new ruler of the Minx Kingdom, as Dogstorm and Cat Viper are going to remain as, like, Kozuki retainers for Momonosuke and all that stuff. And that, Futsi, given the fact that she's had some quite experience going on adventures with Luffy and all that stuff, she's more than Ritzy got enough experience to become leader, which this seems to be the requirement to become the leader of stuff. Of course, Carrot objects and all that stuff, thinking they're much more capable and stronger people, but all those, like the Musketeers and Wanda, are willing to advise her and protect her until she gets strong, or protect the people while she does eventually get strong and all that stuff. But yeah, but it seems like it's implied that she accepts it when they said that she's inherited Pedro's will and all that stuff. Anyway, let's see. This chapter continued to show that Oda might be cutting a few things short. As it turns out, Momonosuke's grandfather does end up revealing himself to, like, his grandchildren and all that stuff, even though a few chapters ago he said he wouldn't. And it seems he's changed his mind off screen, though perhaps Robin or persuaded him that it might be necessary to pass on the techniques, or perhaps when showing Robin, he decided that, okay, I need to reveal what I can learn from him, in which that's what he tends to do, and afterwards he'll go back and arm this to the public and all that stuff. But anyway, I do like how just Momonosuke and Hiro are just glad to have some elder family member, or just some other member of their family alive, as from what they probably thought for a long time, that after their parents' death, all they have is each other now. But now they've got this one member of the family that they can turn to for advice and all that stuff. But yeah, I do like how all the scabbards knew it except Kimimon, who pretended to oh yeah, I did this clever plan to trick Contra. Like, no, it was all dumb luck, and he thought it was actually Toka Port and all that stuff instead of Wharf Port. And let's see, so it's like that. Like, he pretends to know and all that stuff. So yeah, you just gotta I just gotta love Kimon's just dumb luck and all that stuff, or just ignorance. Everyone thinks that he's like, or at least. No, I wouldn't be surprised if the other scabbards figured you didn't know, did you? Except maybe Denjiro. But yeah. So I'm glad that, let's see, it looks like he's now going to probably teach Momonosuke, and maybe even Hiro, how to make the poneglyphs and how to read them, so there'll be more listeners and readers and all that stuff, so who knows? Maybe Momonosuke will also read the poneglyphs when the time comes, but we'll have to wait and see when we get to Loft Hill. But yeah. But anyway, I do like how the Straw Hats are conversing about the existence of Pluton, with Frankie being the one to be the most shocked that it exists and all that stuff. And Luffy remembering that he burned the blueprints. But yeah, I do like how Robin ends up asking if Luffy wants to use the weapon, but Luffy has no interest in that whatsoever. Though granted, if he's going to be like Joe Boy, I assume like the one who inherited Joe Boy's will, he's probably going to need to use it and all that stuff eventually for whatever purpose it was designed for. But we'll have to wait and see. Though they are wondering why Oden wants to unleash such a weapon, given its destructive nature. But yeah. Now, as for Shinobu getting skinnier, well, I don't know. I'm a bit mixed now. On one hand, I was fine with her being like a mature woman and all that stuff, but I do like the design that, the ninja design that she's gotten and all that stuff. But yeah, though Sanji, let's see, just take a chill, dude. Though, let's see, with like the a beautiful lady and all that stuff. But I do like the fact that at the very least, it seems like she's gone skinny so she can be like Tama's ninja master, so she can then learn ninjutsu. I do like how Tama has decided that once she learns ninjutsu, and when Luffy and the others return one day, she can join their crew and all that stuff. And Luffy is more than willing to accept it and all that stuff. So this does lead to part of my theory that at some point, that though granted she could end up being an apprentice cabin girl if they come back sooner, but I do feel like in the epilogue, the Straw Hats are going to have a lot more crew members and all that stuff, and there's going to be quite probably a few of their friends that they've made throughout their journeys and all that stuff, and Tama is clearly going to be one of them and all that stuff. But I do like how Nami is just like being all big sister and all that stuff, like Tama's cute dressed as a ninja and all that stuff. But yeah, the interesting thing is the people are guessing now who is Karo, to the fact that Karo, many people have probably figured out what his purpose is to find out locations and the knowledge of the ancient weapons. It seems like he intends to tell someone important, a certain someone about them. Many are guessing Blackbeard, though who knows? Or a wild guess could be possibly Buggy, but mostly probably assuming Blackbeard, given his destructive nature and desire to rule the world, and this is probably him getting away in his good spot. Anyway, I do like how Momonosuke is just looking over the capital and just accepting everyone bowing him, even though he's probably focused on like wanting to learn more from Zoro, and I can't blame him for wanting to be learning from Zoro for a few more techniques, but of course, they end up leaving. But yeah. I do like how the name thing seems to suggest that Yamato would probably end up joining the Straw Hats, though I have seen some spoilers that might imply otherwise, but I'm not going to get into this review here. But yeah, that might be spoilers for the next chapter. Sorry, everyone. It seems that, and it's like, I do find it interesting that Luffy and the others have said goodbye to everyone except Momonosuke and Kimon, who are like the first two people everyone has met, well, minus Zoro, who met the skeleton zombie, though granted that might be everyone else, that met the Ritzy Ryuma back in Thriller Bark. But these are the two characters that have been on the journey, that have been with the Straw Hats for so long, and not to mention with multiple arcs and multiple sagas and all that stuff, so in many ways, they've journeyed with them more than Vivi had with the Alabasta Saga, or Broke Saga, depending on how you will. But they seem to be the last ones to learn this thing, which means that they're probably going to have some very meaningful goodbye with the Straw Hats when they reach them and all that stuff. But yeah. But anyway, I do like how let's see, you've got like the three members of the three captains of the worst generation arguing and all that stuff, and let's see about who gets to leave and who goes where and all that stuff. This is probably, but no, this chapter does confirm that Law's alliance with Luffy's, and this is the official end of the Ninja Mink Samurai Alliance. All that stuff, the alliance that has been with us since Punk Hazard has now officially come to an end. Now its purpose has been served, but Well, so, yeah, but it's probably for the witty, but it's sad to go. But I wouldn't be surprised if these lot ally themselves with each other again, particularly if they have to fight someone like Blackbeard or maybe the Navy or something. But who knows? But at the moment, the life is but yeah, sort of leaving on good but immature terms of arguing who goes where. I do like how Luffy and Kid end up picking the same direction just because it's the middle thing, but Law ends up picking the one that leaves him furthest away to get the advantage, showing that of the three, he is the smarter one and all that stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I do like how immature Luffy ends up being after losing a straw game and apologizing to everyone, but Usopp's like saying, I don't care, we're gonna die either. It's gonna be dangerous either way. And just wants to get back to work, but is like upset the Kid ended up beating the straws. And actually accepting the fact that he's now emperor, ends up saying the title, saying, I'm an emperor, I'm supposed to win stuff, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he only uses the emperor title for more petty things and all that stuff, rather for the more serious things, because, you know, he wants to be the pirate king. But yeah, I do like how Kid is just getting annoyed with Luffy just using that title. It's interesting to note that he's more annoyed at Buggy for becoming a Yonko, given, like, it's, you know, Buggy and all that stuff. So I'd be surprised if he tries to target him. And all that stuff. But it's very interesting the fact that we've learned that, at the very least, Buggy and Mihawk have survived their marine encounter. I assume at least Weavile as well. Hancock, I am not sure, but it seems like the two of them decided to team up with Crocodile to form this organization called Cross Guilds, and the fact that, as a result, we now finally got a confirmation about why Buggy has become an emperor. It's because he's got two powerful subordinates and the likes of two other fellow former warlords, with Hawkeye being a great swordsman, and Crocodile, who was one of the probably best antagonists of One Piece, but it's now probably gotten a lot more stronger. And I think I've heard somewhere that Oda, if he could, probably put Crocodile later down in the story and all that stuff, given the fact that he's become such a big player for the time skip. But now it looks like things are coming together a bit more, and it seems like we finally got a purpose for why Crocodile escaped Imperial down in Marineford and all that stuff in order to become an elite officer in Buggy's crew. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they're all partnerships and all that stuff, and the government just seems to assume that Buggy's the leader. I do like how Zoro is like, you know, it's like he can't believe Mihawk joining someone like Buggy, given his own previous history with Buggy. But and not to mention the fact that he had trained under, let's see, Hawkeye for about roughly around 2 years and all that stuff. But yeah. So, but yeah. So it's like, yeah, you just probably cannot see Mihawk here, so we're probably going to get some explanation of why Hawkeye is working with Buggy. I guess it's just more for the army and benefits and all that stuff. But speaking of it, this new organization is now putting bounties on the Navy, which has probably now made it more ironic about how the Navy, who have been hunting pirates, will now be hunted by pirates, bounty hunters, and citizens themselves. And given the current unpopularity and the rise of the Revolutionary Army, there's probably going to be more people willing to attack them and all that stuff. But yeah, not many people seem to assume that it's probably actually Crocodile that came up with this idea, but we'll just have to wait and see. If it's Crocodile, okay, yeah, it makes sense why it happened. Or if it's Buggy, well, play to him with being witty, living up to the Genius Jester title. But yeah. Anyway, I do find it interesting how Law ends up giving Kid a spare copy of the Poneglyph and all that stuff, even though, let's see, he would have the advantage if he didn't, but let's see, but he figures like it's fair sportsmanship and all that stuff. And as a result of this, we also learned that somehow Kid and Killer have managed to steal a copy of the Poneglyph from like the sweet commander they fought and wounded back in Whole Cake Island. All that stuff. Now, and Katakuri, Charlotte, and Cracker being extremely loyal, though this movie did keep quiet about Jinbei's rebellion to Big Mom. and all that stuff. But so which leads to many people assuming that Snack has done it and stolen the Poneglyph and has lost the Poneglyph, and might explain the reason why he ended up being demoted and all that stuff. But besides just losing to Mad Monk Uge, because from what I can tell, Cracker and Katakuri still have their titles, but even though they've lost the Straw Hat and all that stuff. But granted, we don't quite know all the details about the Big Mom Pirates right now, but that's what we got so far, at the very least. Anyway, let's see. On to the next bit of the thing to talk about is the fact that Killer says that we need to take it serious to go out of the all-out war for One Piece. With Kid leading that the next hint to the last Poneglyph is this man with the burned scar and all that stuff. Luffy have no idea of this, but it's interesting to think that seems like Kid, Law knows and isn't going to tell. And Robin either knows herself or is suspecting that Law knows and all that stuff or has an idea. But we'll have to wait and see. But I do like how Kid is being petty and not being sportsmanship and all that stuff. Like Law wasn't saying like, "Hey, I got an advantage. I ain't telling you, punk." And Luffy's just like, "What? Tell me," and all that stuff. But yeah, I do like how the cliffhanger is like leaving it vague and what let's see of Yamato waiting on the roof of the Kappa tomb and all that stuff. Ready to sail like Oden and join Luffy in the crew and all that stuff, or at least implied. Now, whether or not Yamato is going to join the crew, or even at least now, remains to be seen. But we'll probably find out in the next chapter and all that stuff. As long as you didn't look at the spoilers, which I'm sort of regretting I did, but I'm going to try and remain spoiler-free as much as I possibly can. But overall, I think I'd have to give this chapter, let's say, about 8.5 out of 10. I mean, some things were a bit rushed and really quick to not really explain, such as Sayuki explaining, like, he's the grandfather of Morosuke to him and all that stuff. And finding out that Kimura was with his wife just like in the other town instead, which muddled up which makes people thought it was like, oh no, it was like he was at the capital celebrating with his wife, though I do like that she wants to live with Kimura together and all that stuff. Garrett is now becoming the leader of the Minx, which seems to be the sort of closure on her arc, or at least another step towards it and all that stuff, though we have to wait and see whether or not she does join the Straw Hats. And let's see, Morosuke is desperately trying to find the others so they can see and all that stuff. And with let's see, and probably for the first time, we'll probably let's see, the Straw Hats are going to a random island that we have no idea where they're going next and all that stuff. Now they're following, let's see, the log pose and all that stuff instead of going to certain islands, with the exception of Punk Hazard. So yeah, we're into the unknown territory until we get to places like Elbaf and Loftail and all that stuff, and maybe also the Revolutionary, let's see, Army, let's see, I've lost my point and all that stuff, but yeah, I'm getting tired again. And do they have a giant? Oh, I must be thinking of something else, but anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'm guessing like Snack and all that stuff. That's the thing, and the cliffhanger of Yamato joining. But overall, something about a pig, I think I was going to say. Okay, what was like? Oh, I can't think of it. I'm getting tired and all that stuff. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, Punk Hazard. Let's see. Oh yeah, Elbaf, Loftail, and I don't know, something else, but either way, but the islands remain unknown and all that stuff. But yeah, where the Straw Hats are going now. But of course, there's still quite a few things to wrap up. There are other ones to do in 3 years, but I think it's going to be more like 5 or a bit longer. But overall, yeah, I enjoyed this chapter. I hope everyone did as well who listened in and all that stuff. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you all again for the next time I review One Piece. Goodbye, everyone, for now. We are on the cruise. Okay, that was cringy. I apologize, but goodbye now.